Chapter 10, Interview/Unexpected Disturbance. Don't you think you should go look for more good luck items? Kamachi asks Sirio. Really? Do you think so? Why Kamachi? Do I really have to explain why? The quality of the lucky goods is worse than I thought. There are a few lucky items, but not nearly enough. Well, that's a problem. Then go out and find more. I guess there's no choice but to go. Can't we just buy more? Alan tried to weasel his way out. Don't be foolish, we're going on a mission. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. That being said, Sirio was practically a cyborg, he was practically invulnerable. The others, not so much. Thank you for your time today. Hurin bowed gracefully and smiled. I always see you together with the others. It feels a bit strange to talk to you one-on-one. Is that so? It feels the same to me. Is that how you see me, though? What do you mean? How do you talk with Sita-sama, Mikami-sama, and Ringo-sama? How's that different from how you talk to me? With Sito, Mikami, Ringo there were clearly much more formal boundaries, but with Hurin he was much closer. They had been together since he had first come into outer space. I'm sorry that I always inconvenience you. That's all? I'm not talking about how you see me as person. What do you think of me as a woman? Well, that's... Well, you're fun to work with and a good leader. You're not nagging, but you're tough when it comes to making sure things get done. You do your job very well, and I appreciate it. But how do you think of me as a woman? Well, you're a very attractive person. At that time, Seina remembered the first time he met Hurin. When she got caught up in Seina's luck and fell in the water, when she was wet, and took off her top to give it to him. Although now she was in swimwear under a robe, somehow her costume, which was similar to that time, reminded him vividly of that memory. I'm happy to hear that. To be honest, we've been with you since the beginning, but you've never made any advances on us, so I thought you found us unattractive. Wait a moment. I don't know what you mean by that. I mean that. No. Of course, I understand the meaning of your words, but I don't know why you would say such a thing, because it's not like you and I are going out with each other, Hurin. Did you want to go out with me? That's not the case. It's not worth it. I am not qualified for such things. Because of your bad luck? Of course, I was asked by Sita-sama, Mikami-sama, and Ringo-sama about this, but it has always caused inconveniences to my family and the surrounding people, so I've thought about it for a long time. Of course, I know I need such things, but when I think how it would affect those I'm together with, I don't have that luxury. More than that, I don't have that choice. Pow! There was a pain in Seina's head. It was quite painful. You idiot! Hurin shed large tears from her eyes as she stood staring at Seina. Then, she became shy, looked at her red hand, and clasped it. I'm sorry. Hurin got up, turned on her heel, and began to walk out of the room. If he hadn't been bioenhanced, that blow would have shattered all his teeth. He understood that his remarks had offended her, but to be honest, he did not know why they angered her so much. However, his heart ached beyond the pain of his head. The reason why was not clear, but at least it made him worry about the woman who was worried about letting herself cry in front of him. Hurin-san, he walked a couple of steps forward to catch up to her but stopped short. Why am I trying to prevent her from leaving when I don't even know what she is angry about? Although there was the option to just chase after her apologizing, Hurin wouldn't be convinced by his apology, and he knew it, so he sat back down. An apology was meaningless if he didn't understand Hurin's feelings. He thought about it for about 30 minutes, but just got more confused. In front of him another girl appeared. Good evening. Wea. Swearin was standing with Fuku. She surprised him. What's wrong? Hurin, why are you back so early? Hurin came home to the treehouse crying, which alarmed the others. She went to bed and said nothing, furthering everyone's confusion. No way. Do you think Seina did something to her? There's no way. Well, this is Amuam. Maybe Seina couldn't bear it any longer? I'm surprised that he would do something to Hurin-chan, but maybe the effect came on him too strong? Don't say such a thing, Sito. I believe in Seina. Believing is a wonderful word, but your belief is my victory. What do you mean? Although you say Seina isn't an adult yet, he's not a child. Children have difficulty with physiological control, and we are in the environment called a muum. That is, he's a wolf who has been made hungry. It would be impossible for you to say that a child could endure such an environment where sheep roam unprotected, but if he can control it, well, that's his role as an adult, and dare I say it, that would normally be your role. I wouldn't have to take on that role, Sito, if you would stop subjecting him to such stimuli. Weren't you going to take on that role? Well, I thought I was going to be able. I thought that he would need such a thing, so if it came to that I had an antidote to the aroma made, why? Oh. So you weren't serious about what you said? You're a terrible friend. It was just an obvious measure to take. I thought you would do such a thing, so sorry, but the medicine that you tried to sneak in to further your hidden agenda was replaced when the baggage inspection was conducted. What? Wow, you are really awful, you know that. How could you do that? Ho 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 ho. They glared at each other, and sparks flew. Please calm down, both of you. Kariko and Sito flew at each other, but stopped when Sarin, holding Fuku, unexpectedly stood between them. There had been no sign of her approaching. It seemed like she had just suddenly appeared in front of their eyes. Ms. Sito, I know we made arrangements already, but I'll be going to stay with Sana tonight. Kariko, Hurin is just overthinking things on a runaway loop as usual. Don't worry. They nodded while staying frozen mid-fight. Since I'll be staying with Sana all night, I'll bring Fuku-chan with me. Sarin said, and she went down the stairs like a ghost. Huh? The two understood the meaning of Sarin's words after Sarin's footsteps were no longer heard downstairs. Wait a moment. Sarin. Wait, no. This is good. Sito came to hold back Kariko, who was trying to run down the stairs. Don't get in Sarin's way, Kariko-chan. Nothing bad is going to happen. But she's not coming home tonight. That means they're going to spend the night together. Sana-chan and Sarin, together. All night. That's a good thing, we should celebrate. Let's make Sekahin. Mikami-sama. Shouldn't you stop this situation as an educator? If you like, I can go bring them some contraception. Mikami-sama. Actually, depending on how things went, I was also supposed to stay overnight. Ringo said. Eh? Kariko froze with her mouth open. However, she recovered quickly and glared at Ringo. Ms. Ringo, how could you do such a thing? Actually, I kind of wish I had done it after all. Eh? Oh, Ringo-chan, what a bold remark. But you, I. Ringo-sama. Kariko, wait until your turn, and my words will make more sense then, and you can judge what I mean then. Ringo put her face close to Kariko's. He's all right. She took Fuku-chan with her, remember? I also don't think that Sarin feels that way about him. She whispered. Of course, it went without saying that Kariko was still frozen in place. Good evening. I'm sorry to bother you. Am I bothering you? Sana was embarrassed by the unusually talkative Sarin. Fuku jumped out of her arms and came to Sana. Is everything all right with Hurin? I think I made her angry. There was a huge fuss back at the treehouse over why Hurin was crying, but there's no need for you to worry too much. Half of it was due to her usual runaway thinking. What about the other half? The other half was because of you, Sana. Oh. Sorry, I'm sorry. Have you understood the reason why she was crying yet? Because I think I said something she thought was wrong. I think that there's no other choice though, despite what she might think. I'd like to confirm something for a moment. Sana, do you like men or women or both? And do you like adults, older women, younger girls, little girls, or young people your own age? I like ordinary adult women, and of course girls the same age as me. But why are you asking that? So, what about me? 1, I like you. 2, I do not like you. 3, I do not care. It was almost like a quiz question. What kind of question is that? When I came here, I declared to Sito, I won't return to the treehouse tonight. That means I'll be here all night and all the next day. What? If you wish I could stay further, I would be happy if you would sleep with me. Sana had not anticipated such a move from Sarin. If you're worried because you're a virgin, well, I am too, but I have received training for when the time comes, so I understand the procedure. Yes. What are you saying? Of course, I can understand the meaning of the words you're saying, but where did these intentions come from, And why did you bring Fuku into this? Sena lifted up Fuku as a shield. Mia? Of course, we'll do it after Fuku-chan has gone to bed. No, that's not the issue. If you are disgusted by the idea, I don't intend to force you, but the shock is too much to bear. I might commit suicide and toss myself into the sea. Don't say that. Stop it. Are you kidding? I'm serious, and of course Hakurin and surely Karen, and definitely Jaikirin would do the same. Are you just frustrated, or what? Yes, I'm frustrated, and I'm dissatisfied. I'm dissatisfied with the desire to slap you. I can understand why Hakurin hit you, Sena. I'm sorry, but why? Can't you believe our words? The time we have served you, Sena, has been short, but the events that we've been through during that time have been the richest part of our entire lives. Don't you believe me when I say you are loved? To Suerin's sincere expression, Sena finally had nothing at all to say. Hakurin may have gotten ahead of herself, but her feelings should be the same as mine. I'm sorry, I didn't notice at all. I'm really happy that you think of me in that way, but there's no need to make a decision right now. We're aware of how living with this probability bias has affected you, but I wanted you to know the meaning of why Hakurin was angry at you. I see. Very well, I understand. It was impossible to have any more misunderstandings, to make any refutations, and to refuse to believe their feelings any longer. Honestly, he was puzzled, but he was also happy. So happy he was about to cry. Thank you, we're not children, we understand what our choice means, and we're prepared for it. While we can't affirm that we won't regret our choice in the future, nevertheless, right now we have no regrets on our choice. Suerin said. Sena stood up and bowed to her. I am tired from talking, so I will go back to being quiet for today, but are you sure you don't want to take me up on my offer? Oh, that. It is a very attractive offer, but I also want to think about it for a bit. I'm so sorry. That's disappointing. Well, please have a good rest and think about it for a while. Suerin stood up and bowed. She waved to Fuku and Fuku waved back. Ah. Sena hastily pursued Suerin to confirm that Suerin did not head towards the sea to kill herself. She went back to the treehouse properly and he sighed in relief. Kariko noticed Suerin the next morning. Suerin. Good morning, Kariko. Did you party hard last night? Suerin, did you come back early? Yes. Suerin tilted her head curiously. Breakfast was set by Sito, Mikami, and Ringo. Kariko's team was distracted and unable to help. They're sure uptight. It's a pity. I'd rather enjoy this weather than obsess over what happened with Suerin. Ho ho. Maybe it was a mistake to send her an overnight? Suerin was also surprised when I mentioned the idea, but she was eager to do it. I feel like her personality has changed. She's become rather bold lately. Did something happen to her on Earth? Washu, she made a brief adjustment to her bioenhancement, so it would stabilize. I think though it might just be the aroma effect. Even so, she dropped an outrageous bomb on Sena, didn't she? Maybe that was due to his luck. This situation could get fun. Sito and Mikami glanced from the kitchen. They looked out at the situation brewing with Kariko's team. I was told when Suerin came home, but to be honest, I didn't notice her at all. Amain said. Ryoko nodded. How about you three? They asked Karen. We don't know when she came back either. We didn't notice anything. I woke up to find Kariko and Suerin talking already. While saying that, Karen looked at the treehouse. Suerin and Hakurin were still in the treehouse where they were grooming themselves for the day. Suerin was helping Hakurin, who was still dragging behind from the shock of yesterday. Why? Should I ask Suerin directly why she came back early? Jaikirin asked while reading a book. I have. But she won't answer. Neither will Sito-sama or Mikami-sama. It's not like I'm asking something top secret. Well then, you should just ask Sena. Amain said. All eyes other than Jaikirin were directed to Kariko. Why me? Naturally it should be you, since you say you're Sena's guardian all the time. Even so, to ask Sena-chan such a thing. Well, it's definitely something that could be hard to hear. If you know anything about what happened to Sena and it's bad, I'll never forgive you. Oh, speak of the devil. Sena's coming over. Amain said as she diverted her eyes. Sena greeted them. Good morning. Is Miss Hurin? Sana glanced at Kariko a bit awkwardly. She's in the treehouse. If you want to talk, I think that she won't be coming out for a while, so please go get her. Kariko calmly said, smiling falsely. Oh, I see. Yes. Sana headed for the treehouse to escape from the tension he felt there. Kariko watched him head off, and as soon as he was gone, she breathed a big sigh as if she had been underwater the whole time. Swearin came out of the house. Sana saw her and jumped back about a meter and froze in an upright position. His face was bright red and sweat started to flow like a waterfall from it. But Swearin just smiled and bowed as usual. Good morning. Hurin will be coming down soon. It was hard to say whether it was coincidental or deliberate, but she gently touched Sana's shoulder with hers as she passed by. Like a cat up against someone's leg. Of course, it was done softly and at an angle so that Kariko and the others didn't see. Thank you for having me here today. Karen waited at the entrance like a dog that expected a walk. She looked up at Sana from a low place and lowered her eyes to brighten them. It gave off a feeling that made him want to hug her. Please come inside. Karen was the most easy-to-talk-to woman on his staff except for Kariko. Her friendly and colorful personality was usually neutral, and she gave off the feeling of being like a close male friend, but today the two were alone in a private space. It smelled like Jairan and a mane, but it seemed to be more suffocating, but although there wasn't any sign of it, there was still enough femininity in Karen's appearance for Sana to get nervous. Thank you very much for your help with my parents on Earth. Oh, no. Thank you for bringing me there. It's been a long time since I have seen my parents happy like that, and it was the first time I saw them have customers. Even though I had to stay at the house. Oh, I remember when we looked through those old photos. I saw many of my parents' old friends in there, but it seems they have become estranged with my parents since I was born. I understand people's pain well. I've always been smart and have some strengths in that department. From what I heard from the employees and your parents, I'm sure that they just want what's best for you and to help you succeed. They don't hate you for your bad luck, Sana. Well, I'm glad to hear you think so. Sana said with an ashamed look down. How did you like the country? I know there wasn't much to do, but you didn't hate it, did you? Oh, no, I like places like that. I like watching rice fields and the mountains, even watching the small fish swim in the streams. Oh, I meant to ask you about something Yoshiko-chan showed me. On the Earth's TV there was a program. Did you find a show you like? Yes, I liked it. On the program were huge humanoid weapons going into battle. A mecha anime? It must seem strange to you. What an unnatural shape for a weapon. Oh, no, I think that shape is more interesting than anything as a weapon. Well, even on Earth, it looks like only Japan thinks of such things. Even so, it's a bit strange. So, Karen, are you interested in mecha anime? There are quite a lot. Do you like mechas, Sana? To be honest, piloting a huge robot is a man's wildest dream. Sana got super enthusiastic but calmed himself. Ahem. But isn't that a bit strange? No, I like it too. I'm sorry if I made you feel awkward about it, but actually my country has the same tastes as you do. What? Your country has huge robots. Sana's face lit up, his eyes were filled with excitement. Yes, but we don't use them as regular weapons, but for ceremonial purposes. Oh! I feel that I understand why. And only by chosen soldiers. They are specially selected soldiers, so to speak. They become like celebrities. Riding a robot guarantees that they're seen as leaders. It's almost the same as being you, Sana. So, a lot of kids feel the same way you do about the mechs. So, they seriously have huge robots. Wait, where is your country, Karen? It was a fantasy product on Earth, but there was no reason not to get excited when she said that it existed in reality. Sana gazed at Karen as if to devour her. My country is, well, in reality it does not belong to the Galactic Federation, it's far away. In the space pirate sphere of influence. What? How are you ever going to get back to that country? How did you get here? I can't go back to that country. Actually, I wanted to manage the damage of the space pirates somehow, so the four of us went to Jurai and became Sito's subordinates. Oh, are the rest of Hurin's team from the same country? Our country of origin is different, but we have known each other for a long time. but this thing is something that no one besides the four of us can know. Well, then why can you tell me such a thing? Sana, I wanted you to know. I know Sito might already know, but please don't tell her. Oh, of course, I will only talk about it with you. Your secret will be safe. Thank you. Well then, I have to work hard so that you can return home soon. Sana said. I'll help you as much as I can. Karen replied. If we can go back to your hometown, please show me the robots. Yes. Karen nodded happily at the bright glitter in Sana's eyes. Good evening. Sana, who stood at the entrance, found himself staring at the moonlight-lit Jairan. He lost his breath. Although he was quite familiar with her, Jairan in the moonlight was still breathtakingly beautiful and fascinated him. It felt as if his soul had left his body. Mia. Fuku? Sana was finally aware Fuku had been desperately calling him. Am I intruding? Oh, no, sorry. Please come inside. Sana quickly invited Jairan in. The tension in the air became thick and the room felt stuffy. The reason was Sana was likely to fly out of control if he wasn't careful. Without the presence of Fuku whom Jairan held, he was not confident as to whether he can bear such tension. Why, did you bring Fuku? It seemed like things would feel strange if it was just you and I, Sana-sama. So, I asked Fuku to come with me, or would you prefer if it was just the two of us? Well, I'm glad you brought her. That's good, I was worried she might feel like a third wheel. She gently stroked and held Fuku. If we ever got married and had a child, would she be this way with them? Fuku hugged Jairan. She seemed to be very happy. Jaikiran's expression looking at Fuku was really meek, and she had a completely different atmosphere than usual. Coupled with her unrivaled beauty, she looked stunning. Although Jairan doubled in charm at night, her figure illuminated by the light of the lantern caused a wave of nostalgia and reminded Sana of his mother somehow. A mother nursing Sana who was in bed after getting hurt. Before he met Kariko, she still wanted to cry, but she worked hard and looked at Sana with a bright smile on her face. That mother. This isn't even fair. Sana's heartbeat began to sound like a fast bell. Sana managed to breathe deep, trying to calm himself. Jairan, do you ever get dissatisfied with your current life or work? I'm satisfied enough. Sana's place is comfortable, and everyone is kind. How do you like your work? I know I must cause various inconveniences for you, but is there anything I can do for you to make it better? Your place for me is very comfortable. Oh, then I guess that's that. But it's hard work, isn't it? We're fighting a lot, and there's a lot of times your life is put in danger. I'm just glad that I don't have to watch my back. I have others to do that for me now. It's not a big deal anymore for me now, but I had no friends to help support me before I met Karen. That's all it is. Oh, is that so? He had a hunch that she was hiding a strange story behind that statement. But if Jairan didn't want to talk about it, he didn't want to pressure her or give her bad feelings by asking her. Ugh. I know that's a half story, isn't it? Jairan said. She looked right at Sana and then said, just know that I'm happy being able to stay by your side, Sana. All of us together like this is wonderful. She said, looking into Sana's eyes. Oh! At that moment, Sana grew lightheaded. So, I'm very happy now. Suddenly Sana's consciousness disappeared. He was overcome with intense sleepiness while listening to the comfortable voice of Jairan. Whether it was from the fatigue of everyday life or the extreme tension. Sana didn't remember what happened to him afterwards. All he remembered was the next morning, when Fuku poked him awake. He noticed he was asleep on the bed. That's it. Jairan, who came back from seeing Sana, was in a very good mood. Her happy smile gave Kariko a suspicion similar to fear. Karen, do you think anything is wrong? This is the first time I've ever seen Jairan so happy. The aura of Jairan, who seemed to be extremely happy, wasn't evil in the slightest, but exactly like that of the aura of a goddess descending. They were hesitant to disturb her. Kariko asked around, but no one was willing to disturb Jairan's happiness to find out more. Like a goddess, they were unwilling to come close to her or get in her way. It was dangerous to go too close to Jairan's heart, and everyone there was familiar with that fact. Sana already seems to be sleeping. Sana's room, which could be seen from the treehouse, was no longer lit. We have no choice but to wait till tomorrow. Jairan will be calm by then, and we can judge from Seina's appearance. Yeah, you're right. Sito and Mikami were drinking while watching Kuriko panic. Every night here, an interesting sight is seen. I don't think I'll ever get bored. I wonder what drama we'll see tomorrow. Sito soon went over to greet Kuriko's people to start a full-blown party. Good morning, Seina. The next morning, all eyes were concentrated on Jairan. Jairan, of course, knew about that, and so she greeted Seina as he went to retrieve the fish in the trap as he did every day. Oh, good morning. I had a lot of fun last night, but that story seemed to be only halfway told. You were tired. I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and I was satisfied because I was able to see your restful sleeping face. Jairan talked loudly so that she could be heard by Kuriko, who was eavesdropping. That's good. Is that what happened? Did I fall asleep? I carried you to bed afterwards. Fuku was tired too, so I left her with you. Oh, is that so? Seina breathed a sigh of relief, but at the same time Kuriko did too. While remembering last night, Jairan smiled a superb smile with no evil intent in it. Of course, there was a little secret in what Jairan told him. The little secret was that to get Fuku to go to sleep, she laid next to Seina with Fuku in between them till Fuku went to sleep.